Good morning, small farming folks. This is Southern Oregon Hey Dude, and I'm going to walk you through some of our morning chores that we have here. We have a small farm out on the East Evans Creek of Evans Valley. It's close to Rogue River, Southern Oregon, and it's getting pretty dry out here, but we make do. It's not bad. So, chore I like to start with in the morning is feeding horses. We have 2 quarter horses here. One is here for a lease for a riding horse, and the other is one that we own. She's a buckskin mare that we bred last year, so she's got her foal with her, and her name's Augie. That's Augie, and that's her foal, Daddy Dave. He's gonna be our breeding stud. He's turning into a great little colt so far. Looking really good. So with her being nursing a baby, she's getting a half a bale morning and night. So it's quite a bit of hay at a time, but she vacuums it up and she looks great. Let's go ahead and throw out a nice big flake for her. And Doc, the gelding that we have leased, he's on a diet because he's fat. So go ahead and open up another bale for him. And get him good. Now we'll move on to the next critters. We have 7 dogs. One of them is a working border collie. That's my dog Bear. We use him on stock. We have neighbors that have sheep, and we take him over there and help them bring in their sheep. We're getting our first cattle next month, actually this month, and so he helps out with that. And then we have a couple of his progeny too. His son is actually starting to pick up the desire to work, so we're going to get him started so that they can work together, because 2 dogs is always better than 1. So we start feeding the hounds of hell. We got a Belgian Malinois Shepherd cross, Prada, and she just loves to ride in the truck. That seems to be her only desire in life. And then we have a pit bull cross. She's pit and lab, and her name's Layla. And we actually bred our puppies from her and my border collie. Oh, they got plenty of food still in their bowls, so they're good to go. And then we also raise chickens and ducks and pigs. And like I said, we're adding beef to our new thing here at the little farm. Our beef is going out on leased pastures. We run a small hay business down in Southern Oregon. We do custom cut hay, and I feel like I'm trying to get more into this YouTube channel stuff to get people more involved with where your food comes from, and show people that a little extra hard work. You don't have to rely so much on going to a market and getting a low quality product when there's usually somebody not far from you producing it, and it's going to be better for you in the long run because it's taken care of better. So I'll start by throwing the chickens some feed. We have I think we're down to about 30 laying hens. And we're in the process of getting ready to move our chickens into a different living situation. We want them to have access to more pasture, which is interesting because I'm wondering now where the chicken feed is. Maybe they got some corn crack soaked over here. Dogs are barking at the local deer. Yeah. So we got whole corn soaking in water here that we throw to the chickens. And chickens are a great resource in many ways because they really are quite the little cleanup artists. They will eat almost anything. We give them vegetables, we give them meat. When we slaughter like goats, and when we slaughter alpacas, or if we slaughter pigs, we can throw the gut piles right into the chicken pen, and within a day or so they'll have it all consumed, which is really good for a high quality egg, because chickens need protein and they can only get so much from corn. So being able to give them some protein supplement via you can even use roadkill. It's good. The chickens that we have, we've hand raised all of them, and hatched all of them because we buy our own incubators, so that way we can hatch our own critters. And then the ducks that we raise, the ducks will raise themselves. We let the moms hatch out a couple. We have Muscovy ducks, which are like a wood duck. So they don't quack, they hiss, which is kind of nice. Never gets too loud. We had geese once. We got rid of them. That's a loud creature. They make a lot of noise. So then we'll move on to our breeding pigs. So right now we have one Duroc cross boar. He's Duroc in Berkshire. He's a big boy, and he's boss hog. And then we have Penelope that we just got, and she's little, and we're just waiting for her to come up to breeding age, bigger, so we can get her into the breeding program. We have alpacas too on our little farm, but those are my mother's. We harvest the fiber, and she has spinning looms. A weaving loom, but spinning wheels, and she spins the fiber into yarn. She makes scarves and socks and hats, and they're a cute creature, but they're not a very hardy creature. They're susceptible to a lot of things like heat, and it takes 12 months for them to have a baby. So it's kind of a large time lapse for a very little payout versus something like pigs, where you can get litters, 2 or 3 a year, which makes a big difference when you're trying to produce a lot of food. We just had the 3 of our last sows butchered because we had Cooney Coons when they are like a heritage breed, and the meat is fabulous. I've never had better pork, but they take like 12 months to finish, and that's just too long. We don't have 12 months. I need a hog that finishes in like 8 months. So this is Penelope. Sorry for the crappy fencing. We're still in the process of building legitimate good paddocks and panels. But this is Penelope, and she's gonna be our breeding sow. And we bought her from my cousin. I'll take you guys out and show you his big herd of pigs. My cousin also farms here with us, and he does pigs, and he runs coonies and Michons and whatever else he can get his paws on. He's got a menage of different breeds. It's a beautiful Southern Oregon morning. It's nice and cool. It's not hot yet. Get out here and get these chores done before it gets hot. For anybody looking to get into chickens, chicken eggs are, there's a good market for them already, of course, but there's also a lot of people that are producing chickens. So one thing that we got into was incubating them for 14 eggs. 14 days, 12 to 14, and then we market them as balut eggs, because there's large Asian communities that love balut, and they go crazy for them, and we get a bit of price for them, and it helps get some of the eggs moving. But here's the alpacas. We've got, I think we're up to 10 now. We just had a baby, and a baby alpaca is called a cria, and he's a tiny little sucker, but he's cute. So we're only 5 acres here, and there is no pasture, but that's all right. You can make it work with whatever you got. I read a couple of Joe Salatin's books. That's my cousin's herd of little pigs, and they sure are cuties. Very friendly. Always hungry. But I read Joe Salatin's book, Salad Bar Beef and You Can Farm, and I really like everything he had to say as far as, if it doesn't matter what kind of acreage that you have. If you can't make money on 5 acres, you can't make money on 500. So work with what you got. And when you start making money with what you got, then progress the size of what you're getting, which is awesome. And I also read the book Dirt to Soil. If anybody is interested in farming and agricultural, that flipped the whole script for me on traditional farming. I didn't grow up in a traditional farming family, so I don't have a whole lot of bias for one way or the other. Growing up, we had large gardens that my dad ran, and we tilled and everything like that. So I just kind of did the same process. But I read that book, Dirt to Soil, and it's all about no-till maintaining your organic matter, and taught me so much about what you can do to increase the organic matter on your ground. And organic matter is where you get your water retention at, and the less water you're putting down, the better. And same with Joe Salatin and with his intensive grazing management techniques. Awesome book. Anybody that wants to get into raising cattle or cows, beeves, I strongly encourage them to read Joe Salatin's book, Salad Bar Beef. Strongly. So informative, because really what it comes down to at the end of the day with cows is the more you put into them, the less you're going to make. So learn to do it right, so that way you can put the least amount into them and get the most amount of gain. Obviously, you have to have sufficient amounts of feed. So we're not talking starving them, no, by no means that, but things that you can do to curb costs as far as the way you treat them, with not going antibiotics. Our cows will be all natural, and they'll be grass start, grass finish. I don't believe in graining them. I know that it probably will produce a better quality meat, but that's not what we're trying to do here at this farm. We're trying to produce food that is healthy for the consumer, and that's our biggest concern. Because if it's going in your food and it's going in your body, it's going to go in you. So all of our meat production animals, we run the best quality foods that we can get our hands on, and we let the animals do their animal things, because animals have instincts and they don't need to be babied. We let our pigs forage. When there's forage available. When there's not, we feed them an all-purpose pellet from the Grange Co-op. And then we also, again, when we slaughter goats, because the pigs are an omnivore, we slaughter goats or we slaughter chickens. We feed all the intestines and everything to the pigs. So it's good for us, because we get to keep the property clean. We don't have a bunch of smelly gut piles. They're not going into the waste system, to stink up landfills. They're just going right into the pigs and getting turned right back into dirt, which is awesome. Take you for a quick walk around the property, show you the equipment that we're running. We run for our small custom cut hay business, we run a Coyote 7320. Love the tractor, no complaints. It's been great. And this is a 2023, I believe. So it doesn't have any DEF. It's got the diesel particulate. It has a regen setting where it cleans itself out, which is pretty awesome. This is our Coyote 7320. And I did a brush hog job with it yesterday. And for young people that want to get into this, it might be daunting to go and spend the money that it takes to buy this equipment, but buying the right equipment, the right size equipment, is crucial. A lot of people will run out and they'll buy a tractor that's too big. And if you're wanting to get into custom cut hay work, where a lot of pastures that we do, some of them are 2 and 3 acres. So if you're in there with a 100-horse tractor, you got no room to operate, right? Or you can't haul the damn thing on a trailer down the road because it's too heavy, right? So finding the right size of equipment is important, and finding the things that are going to make your life easier, happy, See, we got the cab on the tractor. So I've got AC, I got radio, and that makes it pretty easy for me to be out there cutting and raking and baling, even when it's 100 degrees outside. Anything over 90, the AC it's just manageable. It's not cold. So I think the Coyote 7320 is a perfect size tractor if you want to get into custom cut hay. It's got enough horsepower. We also do brush hogging. We offer agricultural help. We have broadcast seeders. I run a Mahindra 6-disc mower. Love that mower. It's a great mower. I got no complaints about it. We run a New Holland side delivery speed rake. And then on the baling end of things, we're running a New Holland 575 baler. That baler is a monster. Love it. It's such a great baler. And for anybody, again, getting back to anybody that wants to get into like a custom cut hay business kind of deal. And let me tell you, young guys, the old guys are retiring, and not a lot of young guys are coming up into this. So the work is there. I mean, the availability is there. If there's farmland around you, there's pastures around you, get yourself a set of equipment, get yourself your your business registered. You don't have to have a license for agricultural business like this. So there's no schooling required. It helps if you can find an old man to teach you how to do it. When I bought this business last year, I bought it from an 82-year-old guy that was retiring, and he mentored me for the whole summer, teaching me how to make hay, how to run the equipment. I've ran equipment most of my life, growing up on farms in Southern Oregon. I'm very familiar with tractors, excavators, a lot of things. I used to work in the mills. So the equipment operating didn't take long. The hardest part was learning how to set up a field to make your life the most easy. And that usually comes down to when you get ready to rake the field. Cutting's easy because you just have to get it on the ground. But when you rake it, setting it up the right way for operating room with the tractor and the baler attached, that takes some practice. And I fumbled through that for the first year, but I've got a pretty good system now on how I rake that allows me to have plenty of room to hit the end of a windrow and spin the tractor 180 degrees and come back down another windrow. Because when you've got bales of hay laying all over the field and you're trying to back that thing up and you can't see them back there and you're running them over, yeah, set up your windrows right. Take the extra time, and you'll appreciate it. So there's not a whole lot of more chores to do because, again, we're just a small farm and we're getting ready to start building. We want to do a farm stand out front, and we have solar power panels to run all of our refrigeration for that. When we start harvesting our next protein animals, we're going to start using a USDA certified butcher, so that way we can sell direct to the public. Because right now you have to work at certain ways to sell meat. You can't sell meat when it's already dead legally, but you can sell the animal alive and then butcher it. That's how we do it. We sell the animal alive, and then we send it we make the call to the kill truck. He comes out, he slaughters it for us and transports it to the butcher, who cuts and wraps it, and then we deliver it to our customers. So yeah, I'm playing. So that's some of the morning chores here at Hey Dude Farms. And like I said, I'm going to start trying to do this YouTube channel stuff. I want to show people more about the hay and the agricultural help that we get to provide. It's really an awesome business to get into. One of the best things about it is all the people that you run into, the people that you get to meet. You get to meet honest, hardworking people that aren't out to stab you in the back or run you over. So anyway, we'll get back to you soon. Bye.